I would say the service provided is far more than just looking after the kids from the time that they finish school to when they're picked up. They do attempt to do something positive with that time, particularly when it comes to the likes of holiday times. There are all sorts of activities and trips organised, and there's definitely benefit, positive benefit for the children. It's not just a glorified babysitter.
They've been coming here now for almost 2 years. They're not bored. They're picked up from school, which I think is the biggest thing that I like about it. I know they're picked up straight from school, they come straight here, they're safe, they're looked after, and they enjoy themselves.
Well, because I work full time, if I didn't have out of school care, there's absolutely no way I would be able to work, and it makes a great deal of difference to my child Sean, because you know it's part of his social life. Even if you're not working, let's face it, your children come home after school, they maybe go out to play or they stay in the house watching television, whereas up here they've got arts and crafts, storytelling, games, you name it, you know, they've got it to do. Same as during the holidays, you know he's in a safe environment, you know exactly where he is, and you know he's getting well looked after.
Well, I would need to give up my job if the club didn't exist, and as I'm a lone parent, I really find it awfully hard to get somebody else to watch him to let me go to work, so it's a case of not working. You know, if he wasn't at the club.
The after school club to me anyways made a big difference. I'm an RAF, I work full time, and I'm a single parent, and I've been for the past 4 to 5 years. And without that, for somebody to look after my daughter, it would have been extortionate, and I would have probably have to have left work. But the after school club made it affordable, so that made a big difference.
It makes a tremendous difference because it means that I can go to work in knowledge that the kids are safe, but not just safe, but also that they're happy. Because I know from their reaction, well, the older boy, he's 12, so he can quite clearly tell me what he thinks of it. And in some ways, with a younger, 6-year-old, I have to judge whether she's content to go and whether she's... In fact, this is the holiday week, and I've taken off work so that I can spend time with them, but they've actually opted to come to after school care. So I think that that's quite a clear indication that how much they like it, and that it's quite a positive thing in their lives. And when I know that, then I'm quite content. Then I can go to work and be content to be at work and not have a great deal of worry in my mind. Because I've had situations before where I've been less than happy about what they're doing after school. So that this is really tremendous. It's a great weight off my mind. It's a marvellous service that's provided.
Out-of-school care is the provision of a safe, caring environment for children while their parents are still at work during the hours before and after school. There is a wide range of active, stimulating and restful activities for school-aged children. Clubs take parental responsibility for the children in their care and are registered under the 1989 Children Act. They may remain open during the school holidays. Clubs are based in various types of premises. These include schools, community centres, church halls and nurseries. At the end of the school day, the children are met by a member of staff and taken to the club. Sometimes transport is provided.
We operate a minibus service to pick up the children every day. There's a school just across the road from here that we just walk across to, but the other ones are further away. So we have a minibus available to us that belongs to the Forest House. So we go around and different schools at the different times and pick up the children and transport them back here every day.
When the children arrive, they come into the building, they sometimes change into their sand shoes or plimsolls, whatever, because sometimes they're going down to the sports hall. And then they choose what type of activity they want to take part in. We have a range of different facilities here, so there's plenty of options to choose from. They have a snack, a drink, maybe if it's a cold day, a plate of soup, a piece of toast or something. And then they go and do their activity. It's very informal. They don't have to do anything that they don't want to. They have the choices. Because we're quite well resourced in terms of the building and facilities, we'll have kilns, we'll have a craft room, a sports hall, squash court, and upper games hall that has a flooring that can handle roller skating. We're quite flexible in the programme we can offer. We're very fortunate in this.
Children are escorted to the after-school service from different schools. They're brought in, the first thing they have is their snack. That's a kind of socialising time when the staff who don't collect the children can speak to all the children in the project. Then it's really sort of free play time. They decide what they want to do and they either go and pick the games themselves and ask one of the leaders to play with them or just play with the other boys and girls around about. We've always got to put the children's needs first. What the children want, obviously, is of sort of prime concern to us. If the children are happy and enjoying themselves, well, I feel the quality aspect of it must be there, you know, or they wouldn't be having fun in the service. We have variety in the after-school service because of the amount of probably room that we have. We have access to the gym and a large corridor downstairs and also outdoor facilities in the playground. So the children have a huge selection of games, toys, etc. they want to play with.
What I do at the club is I play games and make things and draw and paint and make other things with my friends and stuff like that.
I enjoy coming because you get to meet different people and see your friends and do stuff with them.
I like coming when it's sunny because I can get outside to play football, and one of the play leaders, he helps us with our football.
At the club I play games and rounders and badminton and things. Pool.
I don't think the club's boring because you get to do all your favourite things like paint, play chase and watch TV, and it gives your mum and dad a chance to go out and work.
After school care picks me up from school, so it's at school, and then after then they take me here and then my mum picks me up and take me home.
And you can play with skipping ropes and play with balls and tennis rackets.
I can draw because I haven't got enough paper at home and everything.
I don't really mind the younger kids because they're quite funny sometimes and they're a good laugh.
In the after school care when I come here, sometimes we can have sandwiches and sometimes soup. And if it's a nice day, we have ice cream. I like the play leaders because they're kind, and whenever you want them to play a game with, they just play it with you and they don't moan about anything. They're nice. I like the play leaders because they take care of me till my mum comes.
I think the play leaders are good because they're not like teachers. They're a laugh and you can joke about them.
If you don't want to take part in the games, you can just go and read a book or draw or something.
If a child is just sitting and really is not taking part in what's going on round about them, a member of staff would speak to the child just to make sure that they were feeling quite happy and that's what they wanted to do. That was their choice, was to sit and relax for a wee while and watch television or read a book. If it was an ongoing occurrence where it was happening every day where this child was just sitting out all the time, obviously we would look into it deeper and trying to find out if there was a problem and if we could help with it at all.
All the parents have completed consent forms whereby we have a contact address and phone number for an emergency in case of any accidents or illness.
I get peace of mind when I'm at work because I know that the people here are well trained, they know how to look after kids. If there's any problems, 9 times out of 10, they can cope with them themselves. They've got contact numbers if anything does go wrong. I don't think that's ever happened yet in our case.
The after school club means that I can actually work full time because they not only look after the children after school every day, they also operate during the teachers' in-service training days and during the school holidays, which means that I can work because my holidays don't coincide with the school holidays.
The after school club makes a big difference to my life. Without it, I would have to leave full-time employment. I'm fully employed at the moment. And if the after school club wasn't here, I would have to leave work.
After school care means that I can go out to work and I know that my kids are okay, you know. If I didn't have after school care, I couldn't work, especially during the school holidays and like Easter and everything.
Well, the difference it makes is that both myself and my wife work, and it means that first of all, it's no problem for us to continue to do that. And secondly, it means that the childcare we do have, we know is reliable and it's positive for Christopher.
My children love coming to the club. They would very much like to have all the facilities at home that they get here. You know, there's no way they could have all the games and certainly not all the sporting activities that they get here. And it has done them, especially the older one, a lot of good. And you know, my oldest child, my son had a lot of problems. He wouldn't communicate, he wouldn't talk to anybody, he was painfully shy before he actually started coming here. And he's a totally changed person. It's even been commented on in the school, the difference in him, you know, just in his general confidence. But this coming to the after school club here has actually given him.
I think that the service manages to cater for a wide age range. My daughter's 6, my son's 12, and obviously they've got different needs and different interests. And the after school care service manages to meet their interests without any difficulty. I think that they're able to provide activities, arts, crafts, and they also provide them with the opportunity to do sports, which I think is really good. They also take them on day trips. They can opt out and in things as they wish. So they provide a range of services to the children, a range of opportunities for them, and they allow them to make choices in what they want to do. I think there's a really relaxed atmosphere that really makes the children able to make those choices without feeling they're under any pressure. So overall, I think that the quality of service here is excellent.
The after school club provides for both my son and my daughter coming here, and it's difficult to get them away at night time. It's quite simple. It's very difficult. We're always late in getting home at night because they want to stay here. The after school club has helped my wife herself to go to training, and without the after school club being there, then you know, she wouldn't be able to carry out that training.
It has helped me. I went to Cardona College last year, and the only reason I could go was that I had someone collecting Paul from school, you know, so I'd done a course in Cardona College for a year. I wouldn't have done that otherwise.
I would recommend anyone to use this service. It's particularly valuable for us because Christopher doesn't have brothers or sisters, so it's very good for him to play with the other kids. But for any parents, it's an excellent idea for their children, yeah.
Some projects are run by a committee of parents. They employ the staff, book the premises, decide on the policies and opening hours, raise the money to keep the club going, set the level of fees, and make sure all the legal responsibilities are covered. Others are run through local authority funding, private nurseries, community businesses and voluntary organisations. Parents are always encouraged to be involved.
It was really when I moved into the area I got involved with Darnley Street Family Centre because I heard, you know, that they were in the steps of setting up an out-of-school care. So I went along, got involved with the meetings and got involved, you know, with the other parents. Well, the idea is that we meet monthly and Maureen goes over what's happening, and it's up to the parents, as you know, they are meant to manage the project, to give their points of view and how they feel, you know, maybe trips we should be going on, ideas, or just the day-to-day running. You know, if Maureen's having a problem with staff, obviously, you know, that's got to be discussed with the management committee. If anything goes wrong, you know, they can't say, oh, well, I wasn't there or I didn't know about it. It's a very good bonus. There's a lot of single parents use the service, so obviously, you know, it's almost extending your social life as well. I mean, even if you only meet once a month, it is a contact with other parents, and through that, you can maybe meet up and go out, you know, elsewhere. Yes, I do think it's worthwhile being a committee member. It helps you find out not only what's going on in the project, but also maybe what's going on locally. And again, it helps you meet other people, you know, by being on the management. Because certainly, if you're coming in from work every day, you're more or less coming in, picking up your child and leaving, whereas once a month you're meeting up with other parents and listening to their points of view.
I'm the treasurer on the management committee of Cool After School Care Project. At the committee meetings we discuss how the project's going, how the children are enjoying it, if we're doing anything wrong. We discuss where the money's being spent and how it should be spent, whether we need to do any fundraising. Parents should become involved in clubs that their children attend, and it gives them more of an idea of what their children are up to when they're attending the club. what activities they're doing, and lets the parents be more involved altogether. An after-school project like this is very important in a rural area like Lochaber because of the low wages. Most of the time both parents have to work in an area like this, and that's where the project benefits those families. Yes, I think it is worthwhile being a committee member. The project wouldn't be running if we didn't have a committee to run it.
The fees for the use of the club vary, depending on the source of funding, the hours it is open, the premises, equipment, wages and training bills. Often there are discounts for second or more children from the same family.
The funding mainly comes from the hourly charge put to the parents, but this year we have been fortunate enough to have funding from the local enterprise company. That is a 2-year funding block.
This project's funded through the Urban Aid budget. It's awarded to areas of priority treatment, which East Pollokshields is one. We have an excellent budget. It pays for wages, it pays for equipment, it pays for outings and training. We've actually got a very good budget. That would last for 4 years, and pending a positive evaluation of the project, we would then get another 3 years funding after that. Now that's 75% of that money comes from central government via the Scottish office, and 25% comes from Strathclyde region.
Each club has its own admission policies. In some cases, priority will be given to the school catchment area or lone parents.
We don't have a priority list, although the initial idea of the project was to assist local single mums to get back to college and further a career so that they're available in the job market. But then, since then, it has widened to cope with others as well.
Yes, there are priorities given to certain people in the project. They're listed in the Urban Aid submission form, and priority is given to single parent families, low income 2-parent families, children whose first language isn't English, families in crisis, and we can take referrals from the social work department or from school liaison officers.
Places may also be subsidised by the local authority or a local employer to ensure some are kept open for children in need of a place through a family crisis or to meet the needs of staff.
One local employer actually pays the fees of one of the children using the service on behalf of the parent, which is really encouraging. But Forres doesn't have many big employers that could help fund, but we are doing a survey at the moment.
It is useful for employers to have an out-of-school care scheme in their area. The investment they have made in staff training and in building up a team is often wasted if parents do not have adequate childcare. When people talk about childcare, they often mean the care of under 5s. Yet parents need good quality childcare right up to the teenage years. From rising 5s to 16-year-olds, out-of-school care can cater for them all. It is also useful for a school to have an out-of-school care nearby. Parents may choose a school on the basis of many factors, not least the childcare available locally. Many schools are very happy to have a good quality out-of-school care scheme using their premises.
This is regional council premises, but come reorganisation, when district council and regional council will merge in '96, the difficulty then might arise where we'll have to pay for use of premises. The future is very uncertain for us, but the premises at the moment are being used free.
We have a free school let and use of quite a few different rooms in the building, and that is a great sort of bonus to our budget.
Yes, we have use of the school premises free. It's a letting procedure through community education. I don't know what will happen with government reorganisation, but at the moment we have the premises free.
In 1995, many local authorities provide free use or low-cost use of school buildings for out-of-school care. You can check your fact sheets provided with this video for up-to-date information. The whole community benefits from out-of-school care. The economy benefits through the creation of working and training opportunities, and the social benefits are felt by the children, parents, staff and wider community. It has also been suggested in some studies that vandalism and petty crime among children is reduced through providing good quality childcare. If you want to find out more about starting a club in your area, you should contact the Scottish Out of School Care Network. Our address, telephone and fax number are at the end of this programme. The Scottish Out of School Care Network will put you in touch with local development workers and provide you with advice, printed information and a guide to out of school care.
If you want to set up an out of school care club, the Scottish Out of School Care Network can help you by offering you information and advice at every stage of the process. We will give you contacts locally for local out of school care networks, regional contacts and development officers employed to help you. We will also give you information on sources of funding available for out of school care in your area. We produce a range of publications which you'll find useful. An information pack which goes through the setting up stages, and a more detailed model business plan for the financial planning. The process involved in setting up a club can be quite different in different areas and different circumstances, but there's a few basic points to consider. First of all, is there a need for the club? And you can find out by surveying local parents at the local primary schools and secondary schools and asking the head teachers perhaps to distribute the survey forms for you. The next thing to do is, once you've established there's a need, is gather people together who will be interested in running the clubs. You can do this by advertising a public meeting and forming a steering group to set up the club. The next stage really is to identify the funding source, the premises, and decide how many staff and children you're going to cater for. The fact sheets accompanying this video go through these stages in far more detail, and also you can contact the Scottish Out of School Care Network for a much fuller discussion of the process of setting up, and we'll help you with this.
I think there are always problems when you set up out of school care projects. Not all of them are insurmountable. Obviously, the main things you have to have sorted out are premises. You must have sort of good premises, have good relationships with the people you're sharing with, because very few people are lucky enough to have purpose-built buildings.
The initial difficulties were because of attitudes, that the project should be set up by the government and not from the initial response from the public, the community itself. But we pursued this by speaking to different people that were hoping to go to college, mostly single parents that wanted to have the ability to go for different jobs. If you are starting a new group, it's wise to think of being flexible and reliable. If parents wish you to start at 8:30 in the morning, try as hard as you can to meet that commitments. If they want you to stay till 6 o'clock, try and do that again as far as possible. Try and meet the needs of the community and the individuals that are going to use the service.
East Pollokshields has a high ethnic minority population, and this is now being reflected in the number of children attending this project. We believe this built up because of the trust the parents have in the project now. They know that we respect the children's culture, we respect their customs. If they're fasting during Ramadan, that's fine, that's no problem to us. We take the children to mosque. We only prepare vegetarian food, or we use halal food. All shopping is carefully checked for ingredients to make sure that we're not buying anything that has animal fat in it. And it really is a matter of trust. These parents have now built up and know we respect their customs, and they've built up a trust in the staff. Obviously this helps because we have Asian staff working in the project, and if children do not have English as a first language, then we have no problem sorting out any sort of worries or anything that might happen with the children, because our staff do speak Punjabi and Urdu. Our hopes for the future of the project would be to see it continuing after the Urban Aid funding finished. We would hope to see it carrying on in some other kind of stable funding is what you're looking for. Most projects whose Urban Aid grant finishes go into a Category C funding, which is a yearly grant. Unfortunately, there are more and more people looking for the same amount of money, which means grants are getting cut every year. So stability, I would say, is the main thing that out of school care projects need. Parents have come to rely on you. They trust you. They want their children here, and we can't provide this service if we don't have adequate funding for it.
Oh, other parents should start this up. It should really be in every district. Everywhere should have after school care, because even if you finish at the same time the kids are coming out of school, you've still got to make your way to get them, and if something happens, they're standing at school waiting on you. Whereas this way, you know that they're getting collected and that they're getting watched.
I would totally recommend the club to other parents, yeah. Totally. It's a great thing for the kids growing up, yeah.
Certainly without the service like that they've got in the centre, then I would have had to give up my work, and I would strongly recommend it to any other parents, really.
Yes, I would recommend the service, you know, to anyone in this area. The staff are all very good and the children are all happy.
You know, that's one of the concerns, I think, before you use a service like this. If you've not used a service like this before, then you feel that with your kids you're maybe taking a bit of a chance, and it's always a bit of a risk because you're never 100% sure that everything's going to be as to your satisfaction. But in this particular instance, I'd have no doubts at all about recommending it, really.
The Scottish Out of School Care Network hopes that the future of out of school care in Scotland will be a rapid expansion of clubs and services with support, financial support and support in other forms from central government, local government and indeed local enterprise companies and the business community, especially employers. Employers do have an opportunity to contribute towards the well-being of their employees by helping out with childcare costs or sponsoring places in out-of-school care services. We don't expect central government to pay for it all, we don't expect local government to pay for it all. Parents are willing to pay fees, but realistically for a club to run, we need support and help on a national basis.
If you would like to find out more about existing clubs or setting up a club in your area, you can contact the Scottish Out of School Care Network at this address.